Hey parents, this is Coach Wendy. I am going to go over how to keep one of our stats in our books, since we are required to keep that and we can't just use Game Changer for our official book. We have to also do a book, and at the last tournament I did the book since I didn't have any parents who knew how to, but I am going to give you a crash course on this so that I can concentrate on just doing the coaching on the team instead of also doing the book. So as you can see here, we'll be given, I'll do a lineup, and then we'll also be given the opponent's lineup. So we're going to put all of their information in here. On this right here, this is actually their jersey number, so that's important, especially typically I'm going to bat our entire lineup unless we're in a tournament that will not allow that. I just need the girls to get lots of reps. And then this is their position. Now for some people, they're not sure what the positions are, but here is a I guess like a tool to let you know that pitcher's 1, catcher's 2, you have 3 is first base, and then second base, and then you notice that it's going to skip over to 5 being third base, and then your 6 is going to be your shortstop, 7, 8, and 9. And we do not play a rover at this point. That's for the younger levels. Okay, so you can see this one's already done. So I'm just going to scoot over here to what looks like the 6th inning. So if we end up in an inning where everybody bats and we haven't achieved the 3 outs or the maximum runs we can get in an inning, what you're going to do is you're just going to cross out this, and you would just make it the same inning number again. So this way we know it was all in the same inning. So I know you can watch other YouTube videos. I like a little bit more than some of the YouTube videos have to provide. So that's why I decided I'd just do my own. So let's take it. So Addie comes up to bat and she gets a ball. So this right here is balls. These right here are strikes. Obviously, when she hits the ball and, gets on, however, you're going to have a 1-bagger, a 2-bagger, a 3-bagger, a home run, or that she got walked. And they do not have a spot on this sheet that's for a hit by pitch. That would be HP. So what I like to do is I actually like to keep track of when they got strikes and balls, so that if there's a question and the umpire has lost track, I would have it on my official book. And so I'd be able to say, oh no, we're 2-1, or whatever the case may be. Then I know this is over the top, and I understand if you guys don't get this initially when you're doing this, I actually like to draw a line where they hit the ball. So let's say Addie takes a shot up the middle and she gets a 1-bagger. I would do that, and then you fill in the first line that she's gone. Okay, so let's say Addie gets a 1-bagger, it goes out here, then they try to throw her out this direction, and then there's an error, but she then would be at second base. I would add the error on whoever's part it was, so E whoever. Okay, so then if she is at first base, and then we have Maddie come up to bat, and I give her like a bunt and run or something. I know at that point we're gonna have Addie running, and then Maddie would be bunting. So let's just say it's a horrible pitch and she gets a ball, but she still steals. So this would go down as a stolen base, SB. Okay, so that lets her know that she's got stolen bases. Now, as they get older, these are the kind of stats that she's gonna, want to have when she's, thinking about college. How many bases should she steal? Those kind of things. Those are some of those great things or stats to have in order to make yourself more appealing to the colleges. And as she gets going, who knows, hopefully she stays in the Glory family, but there's no telling. You guys move somewhere, you might find another team. It'd be great to be able to say, on a typical basis, she does this many, she steals these many bases. At this point, unless I have one of my parents out there who is an amazing statistician and wants to do those things, and I totally welcome it because I loved having my stats in college. At this point, it's more for my knowledge, and I can go through and see these things, like how many strikeouts did we have, those kind of things. So let's just say nothing happens with Maddie. And then she gets, you know, some more pitches and she still stays where she's at. And then let's say she gets herself a 2-bagger out here. So, and then she scores. So you're going to fill in each one of the boxes, and then I just lightly cover this. This lets me know this is a run. And then what Maddie gets is she gets an RBI. So you can see some of these. This is not a great large print book. So some of them have the ability to do, you know, bigger prints. So she'd be able to see that. Okay, so let's just say our next batter comes up and, you know, we get a good fight. We get a lot of pitches pitched and we strike out. Strikeout swinging with not a drop third is just a K forward. Strikeout looking is a backwards K. And these for me are important because this is telling me if our girls are watching things that are close to the plate, close enough for the umpire to call them, those obviously mean we still need some work. So, and then this little circle here indicates the amount of outs we have in the inning. Okay. So you'll notice kind of faintly on this last game, I draw a line like this. This lets me know that this is the end of that batting for that inning. So you'll notice that if you scoot over to the line, the column, the third inning, that I draw a line. So it doesn't let you put that information back on the inning that we've already passed. So it just kind of keeps things kind of tidy for you. So if I were to look here at this last game that I have sitting here, so you can see that, you know, I hit one to first base and she was out, but then we had a base on balls, then we got a 1-bagger, then we got another 1-bagger, and you can see in this case that Lauren had gotten an RBI on that one. So you can see, you know, as we progress down here, this one, she hit to the first base side with a second, you know, out, and then a K for 3. And you can see that I filled in all of these outs. So at the bottom of this form, it kind of lets you keep a running list. Again, you can see that there you can do hits and errors and who was left on base. Again, those are stats that are great for as you get older. And again, if I have a parent who just digs doing the book, which I truly do love doing this because it gives them so much information for us to be able to come back and say, hey, when this team got up last, we can look at this one and we can see, so you can see this one, we obviously struggled. We had a lot of bases on balls, and then we had a little error on the pitcher. So, but then somebody hit. And then here, I would be able to see that. So you might be wondering, what the heck is this right here? So this one got on the base on balls. So then this next person hit and she got a fielder's choice because our shortstop threw this girl out going to second base. So that was our first out. So this is a fielder's choice. So that's not a hit. So you only get on base if they don't make a play on somebody else, and you get credit for a 1-bagger or a 2-bagger, depending on if they had another option to play on somebody else or if it was an error, you know, those kind of things. So, and then you can see here that this one hit right here, and then our third baseman threw it to our shortstop right, you know, here to make those outs. So, you know, just those kind of things. And then obviously remember there's this here. So let's just say when, this isn't a great example, but because this little girl walked the first time, but then she had to fly out to shortstop. So if she were to come up the next inning, so let's just say she made it to the 4th inning, what I would be saying is whoever's playing shortstop for us, hey, she came your side last time. So this gives us that information to help the girls be prepared. Sometimes you recognize them when they are, you know, up to bat. You go, oh, I remember this one. Oh, she's the one that hit it really hard or whatever. So just so you know, but I want all the parents to look this over, watch it, because we are going to need you guys to keep these books. And it looks as though we're going to get to play this next weekend and the following weekend. So, you know, just take a look at this. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be glad to answer anything. Obviously, I don't expect it to be perfection, unless, again, you have done this in the past and love it and want to do it, because we will also keep Game Changer in case you're unable to attend the games, or let's say you have, grandma and grandpa's at home and they want to kind of see what they're doing, being able to have them watch it, quote unquote, watch it, depending on how, who runs the Game Changer while we're out there. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much.